Leave your comments on the Ask Reddit sub, and I'll read your answers on the next episode of LWIAR. What video games show that graphics truly aren't everything? Roller Coaster Tycoon. I want to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride. Guest 398 has drowned. Should have kept his opinion to himself. RCT2 is still stunning, my favorite looking game ever. If you haven't already, you should look into OpenRCT2. I want to go on something more exciting than Merry-Go-Round 1. Just looking at your mum makes me feel sick. Your mum was a really great value. I'm not paying that much to go on your mum. I can't afford your mum. Your mum looks too intense for me. The line for your mum is really long. I want to ride your mum again. Your mum was great. Quote. Your mum crashed and killed 42 guests. Your mum has no path leading from its exit. Also, time to start an advertising campaign for your mum. Dwarf Fortress, because what it has can be barely called graphics. If I remember correctly, graphics were just announced recently, which blew my mind. Edit. In the least offensive way possible. I get it. The announcement I was thinking of was for the official tile set for the Steam release. I've seen at least 3 people comment the same thing now. I appreciate being corrected though. I don't know much about Dwarf Fortress. Not recently, but yes, they are working on Steam version that would have something close to RPG Maker's graphics. If they will also make a proper UE, it will be simply fantastic. People really don't get what an impressive thing Dwarf Fortress is. It's a game that's been almost constantly in development since 2002. 18 years of development. It's a man's literal life work put onto the internet for all to enjoy. Which is crazy to me. It's like Sistine Chapel that you can beam into your living room. For free. Oh damn, maybe I should try this game. It's quite good, but the learning curve is extreme to say the least. You mean the learning wall? IIRC he started working on the Steam upgraded version cause he needs health insurance. Edit. Just because I don't think I made this clear in my original post, frick for-profit healthcare. Healthcare is a human right, and if you live in America I urge you to look into local, state politicians who are interested in expanding healthcare, as well as any national politicians invested in M4A. This is actually very sad. Sad face. God bless America. America, frick tilde, yeah. Tetris. I think this is your text to this question, and the eternal counter to the better graphics arms race. Tetris with RTX. Old school RuneScape. I once wrote a letter to Jagex asking them to start a woodcutting guild because that's the skill I spent my time progressing. My friends picked crafting and cooking as skills and they had guilds and I felt left out. The letter was very long. Sea Shanty 2 intensifies. It's been my ringtone for years. Pretty sure my roommates hate it. Minecraft. Not a fan myself, but if anything does it's that one. Edit. I've never played it myself and generally referring to the vanilla copy. A lot of you saying it's good with mods and such, but that's also not base copy. Have you seen the new RTX version though? People are memming stuff like 2010, can it run Crysis? 2020, can it run Minecraft? And they aren't that far from the truth. Especially if you enable custom texture packs. Yes, best-selling video game of all time with over 200 meters copies sold proves that. Isn't Tetris the best-selling game? Tetris is the game with the single most ports, remasters, and spin-offs. Sure, it's not Skyrim S. Victoria. Finally at 1.0. Only 7 years in beta. Granted, I loved every minute. Well over 500 hours I think. Edit. Just checked. 628.6 hours. I know it will probably go up, but I'm on a Terraria kick right now. Over 700 hours there. Ah yes, virtual crack rock. You have died of dysentery. Why does dysentery get all the limelight? There were like 50 different ways to die out there. Cholera, typhoid, starvation, snake bite, etc. Because poo and dehydration. That's the best part of dysentery IMO. You're not just crapping a frick ton, but you're also crapping so fricking much and crapping such a literal crap ton that you've become so dehydrated that you could die. That sounds like a crappy death, and my crappiest explanation of it is bad too. I'm leaving my typo in Reddit. Fight me. Age of Empires. Wololo. Roses are red, wololo, roses are blue. Roses are red, violets are blue, wololo, now roses are two. Faith. It showed that a horror game can still be terrifying even in 8-bit. Edit. Well damn, 9k upvotes. Mortis. What I'm about to do has not been approved by the Vatican. Pure goosebumps. Not approved by the Vatican, at least you know you're not about to get banged by a priest. Barber is you. The first Pokemon Mystery Dungeons, the 2 is my favorite, and the old Pokemon's games. The Mystery Dungeon DS games made me cry at the end, sad face. NetHack, focusing on gameplay instead of graphics. It spawned at the dev team thinks of everything, catchphrase in its fan base. Came here to support my fellow roguelikers. You are a credit to the family. You can also remove your last HP by throwing something straight up while not wearing a helmet, causing it to hit you when it lands. If you do, your cause of death is listed in the high score file as physics. RimWorld. Edit, join us at our RimWorld. Amazing game. I always have to be sure I have literally nothing else going on in my day before I fire it up. Because before I know it, it's 3 AM and I'm playing for just one more day, once again. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and Master of Orion 2. Both very dated graphics but stand the test of time. Still very playable today, and best of all, they can run on almost any PC. Also add CIV series to the list. Edit. I advise you all to check out our Heroes 3 for more HOMM3 discussions. Had to scroll way too far to find HOMM3. To anyone checking it out, make sure to get the GOG version instead of the Steam rip-off version. Mountain Blade Warband is one that comes to mind for me. High graphics or low graphics, Jeremus is the same friend to us. Jeremus has been knocked unconscious by Rodok tribesmen. Terraria. I could never get into Minecraft, but for some reason the first time I played Terraria, I was 100% hooked, even though it looked like it belonged on a system multiple gens ago. Never really understood why, since I thought I wasn't the type to play those build everything games. But hey, I love Terraria. Because Terraria has some actual progression to it, and depth in its system. You are actually building towards something. Don't get me wrong, Minecraft is fun, but in order to get the same amount of depth and progression you have to mod the ever-living crap out of Minecraft. It's what puts me off a lot of survival crafting sandbox games. That there is no greater goal than survive. If there was more to it, I would be more invested. Play Terraria if you like quest and boss slaying, play Minecraft if you like building and architecture. I was really impressed with how a game with so little apparent replayability has so much replayability. The map is really very small, not even completely randomized, and somehow each match is still unique, and I haven't gotten bored of it after 700 plus matches. Stardew Valley. After I saw the first version of the graphics for Stardew Valley, my opinion on the graphics changed. From Huneat to HFS, this game looks amazing. RimWorld. Endless possibilities for your floating head and torso colonies. Thomas was alone. I was really hooked from the very beginning. I have never before had such strong feelings for geometric shapes. One of my all-time favorite games. To the Moon. Such an incredible game. The only thing lacking in this game is the graphics and the gameplay itself. It's more of a visual novel. The story is fantastic, and this is the only game OST I have ever bought. If there is anyone out there that hasn't played this and have a few hours to spare, please give this a shot. I could never recommend this game enough to do it justice. Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2005 classic. Watch those wrist rockets. Dwarf Fortress and NetHack are the classics. Crusader Kings 2 is just a map of Europe. Pretty much everything SF Zench the YouTube review like Unrail and Neo Scavenger come to mind as slightly more modern examples. Oblivion. Hardly anyone talks about the graphics because we're too busy laughing at the NPC dialogue. Stop right there, criminal scum. Undertale. I have the art book for that game, and there's an interesting section about how the main character's design intentionally looks bad to lower your expectations for the rest of the game. Fallout New Vegas looks really dated by today's standards, but the game is just as fun as it's ever been. Even when it came out, it was a bit ugly. Best game ever. The Simpsons, Hit and Run. FTL, Faster Than Light, Darkest Dungeon, Terraria, Cardinal Quest 2, mobile game, Rhymed Razor, Bomber Crew. While people need to play more indie games. Edit. I just looked at my stream library and have so many more to add. Unturned, Dungeon of the Endless, The Binding of Isaac, Crypt of the Necrodancer, Realm of the Mad God, Spelunky, Castle Crashers. Got FTL this summer. I had one health bar left on the third phase of the enemy flagship today. I made it to the flagship my third playthrough. Got halfway through its second phase the fifth time. And I was really hoping to wrap things up this time, assuming the unexpected third phase is the last one. But I totally believe there are 6 phases at this point. I'm running an i7 3rd gen with 32 gigs of RAM and a GeForce 1070. So I can play some solid stuff graphically. But it's been my jam much of the summer when I've had time to play such a great game. FTL had been the game I have fanboyed the most over the last years. Got it for $2 in 2014. Played it a bit, and then got really into it. Bought 7 copies in total for friends and strangers. Bought the soundtrack and t-shirts. It's the one game I have consistently played since 2014, and currently have 250 hours in it, and not stopping anytime soon. You got some great moments still ahead. Team Fortress 2. That game is over 10 years old probably and still has a dedicated community, including me. Super Hexagon Papers please. The Sims 2. Haven't seen anybody say it here, but that game slaps. Final Fantasy Tactics. Such an amazing beautiful game. The graphics are meh. Binding of Isaac. Not only is it fun, but it has so much replayability. Hotline Miami. Most violent and brutal video game I've ever played, all displayed through pixelated gore and bloodshed. Diablo 2. Half-Life 2 is still better than most single-player games that come out today. Morrowind. San Andreas. Look behind you, a 3-headed monkey. GoldenEye. Return of the Obra Dinn. Thanks for watching LWIAR. The best of recent r/AskReddit submissions and comments. If you like this video, check out LWIAR too. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.